Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another beautiful, bodacious, bosomous episode of the Noise Report. We are your gracious hosts, Trey Graciani.
And I'm Justin Horn.
And this is a little special episode. First one, we are not recording together in the same room. We've officially both have a good microphone set up in our own homes, so I never have to see his ugly mug again.
Yeah.
Only good things can come from this.
Yeah.
And it all involves me not having to be in person with Justin.
Yeah, one of the main good things that comes from this is that you won't have to see me crying while we're reviewing these albums during this special depression episode of the Noise Report.
Yes. Little did everyone know, last week we recommended albums that we personally thought are trash, terrible, and should never be listened to by human ears. And my God, we listened to them with our ears, and I really wish we hadn't. I regret, hard regret, bringing up the bad album idea.
I told you it was a bad idea, but no, you never listened to me. So, which heaping pile of trash would you like to start out with?
I believe. Let's start with yours, because I think we did mine first last week.
Maybe. I don't know.
Let's try it. Well, let's just go with yours.
All right. This my album was Puddle of Mudd's Come Clean. This one's a doozy.
It's it was released August 28th, 2001, and the only thing I could say about that is I wish it had never been released.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So let's start out with track number 1 here. It's called Control. Let me ask you a question, Trey.
Yep.
Do you like generic 2000s alt rock chords?
No.
Well, these guys do. They really do.
They really do.
I really there's not a whole lot else to really say about their instrumentation. I mean, it's mixed decently.
The only thing going for this album is its production quality.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Freddie Durst on that one, because
yeah,
that may be the only positive thing he's ever contributed to, which is good production. Good on you, Fred. Never talk about chainsaws though. Don't do it.
No.
Please.
So yeah, a couple things about the first song, Control. The only actual thing I had to say about the song was it's a fairly steady song, and it really kind of lets you know what you're in for musically, because the music doesn't change throughout this entire album.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's one song.
There's a couple songs that change it, but
for the most part, the trend is. Oh God, the trend is there. Also, lyrically, this song's kind of fucked up, dude.
I love the way you smack my ass.
Yeah, that's never a good thing to read in the lyric sheet or hear in the song. That's just like, you know what, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable by that. Whatever the hell this man's vocalist name is, I don't really care. He's a piece of shit.
I had it written down.
Yeah, that's really kind of uncomfortable. What is he? She got a finger up there too?
Maybe. I had it written down as a question. Is this just a fetish song?
Might be. I think it's
Is this guy just talking about his fetishes?
Bondage, dude. I think it's about bondage.
I think this guy likes to get docked a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just pop a little baby in there. Oof.
That's a big oof from me.
There's not really much to say about the song though. Just about smacking ass and living life.
Yeah, and getting the big fuck from a girl of the vocalist's choice, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Moving on to track number 2, though, Drift and Die.
Yeah.
I had it written. I have it crossed out and then rewritten even bigger. This is so unbelievably standard.
Yeah. It's fairly. It's like the ultimate generic 2000 rock song, which is impressive. To be honest, it's almost impressive that it could be so boring. I do like some of the instrumentation at the beginning, but oh my God, the vocals are so beige. Like,
dude, They do that thing in production where you layer vocals on top of each other with the same vocalist, but they do that thing where the vocalist doesn't change the tonality of his voice, so there's
Yeah.
no change in like
It just makes it
the
sound
the
slightly
waveform,
bigger.
and it just gives it a hard frequency where instead of it could be like a nice sounding harmony between the same guy, it's just a kind of sound, and that shit bugs me. That's like standard, like you've been producing for a year kind of mistakes. Like, and it's in almost every single song too, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Some of me thinks
And
that's an aesthetic decision, but why would you make
I
a really boring aesthetic decision? Like, come on.
right? And I think the worst part about this song is that it is produced like really well in terms of like
Yeah.
sound, but it's just such a boring, uninteresting song that it doesn't matter how good it sounds production wise. It's just
It's
not
still
worth it.
bad. It's
Yeah.
still bad.
It's
Not
just so
even
bad.
Freddie D's production job can save this one.
No, the Durfster couldn't do this one. The Durfster couldn't do jack shit.
So track 3 is Out of My Head. Again, I thought
Actually, the opening guitar is pretty neat.
yeah,
in
the
this
opening
one.
guitar was pretty cool. I actually did enjoy that opening guitar. Unfortunately, the lyrical talents of this man and his vocal ability again let me down.
Oh my god, Justin, are we writing down do we have the exact same notes written down?
Maybe.
Because my first note is opening guitar is really good. Second note is vocalist is so generic that I can't find enjoyment in the song.
No, not quite the same.
Aw, damn.
I have vocalist is extra edgy. And then I have
edgy.
a made up quote that I could imagine this man saying while writing this song. Specifically, I'm not like my friends, guys.
Yeah?
That's pretty much how I feel about it.
Yeah, I could see it. I also have like a lot of these songs, the song structure does not break any molds. A huge theme is being standard, unoriginal, and not trying very hard.
Yeah.
Is what I get out of this entire album.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
like they wrote one song and was like, let's make this into 12 songs.
Yeah. Pretty much. Okay, guys, use the same riff. Use the same
Honestly,
riff. Okay,
though.
just add like one extra little strum in there and we're good to go.
Instead of it being John, 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 we can make it John, 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 Chicka John, and nobody will know.
It's perfect.
Do you know what's not perfect?
Nobody told me.
Yeah, there's a couple songs here where I wrote down a little note about the title of the song. So song 4 is Nobody Told Me, and then my note next to it is more like nobody told me how subpar this song was gonna be.
Oof, that's a big
That's a big oof for them.
That's a real big oof on that one, my guy. But yeah, it's I did like some of the dissonance on their guitar progressions in this one at least, but those are few and far between. And God, the lyrics, dude.
Oh,
The lyrics and the vocals are
Yeah.
so edgy.
Dude, speaking of the lyrics, same old shit, different day is one of the lines he says towards, I think that's like the bridge towards the end of the song. And I have written down that that's exactly how I feel about this album.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That line, same old shit, different day, perfectly describes how I feel.
So in my notes, I've got in all caps, holy shit. And then these lyrics are edgy. And not only are they edgy, but they miss some easy rhymes. Like really easy rhymes. They would have just perfectly smoothed out the song, and instead they went for that slightly less generic route, but instead it just ends up falling really flat on his face and sounding even worse. Like they should have gone with the more generic lyrics. It would have sounded.
This album actually probably wouldn't have been too bad had this band have a completely different vocalist.
Yeah, different vocalists and different lyricists. Like, good God.
Yeah, there's absolutely no variation in the vocal melody in this song. It's literally, I think, the same melody repeated like 20 or 30 times with no change.
Yeah.
Maybe like one or two.
Yeah,
but
there's a couple of
it's not
songs
enough to
that,
notice.
Yeah. So
It's a big feels bad. Big feels bad for anyone who enjoys, decent like music progression.
yeah. So on to track 5. Track 5 is Blurry. Blurry was one of the singles off of this album. It's a very popular song. And
How do you feel about this song, Justin?
well, conflicted, because part of me that's like a little 12-year-old fucking loves this song because this shit was my jam in like
Dude.
middle school, but the other part of me like goes back and listens to this and it's like, oh my god, this is edgy as fuck and this vocalist isn't very good. But I can't bring myself to hate this song due to how many times I've listened to it.
I have the exact same feeling. I actually like have a ton of nostalgia for this song, so I can't help but like it. Just like that little bit that's like my childhood looking back at me like, yeah. But then like it's just such a decent song that it's not good enough for me to be like, oh hell yeah, I'll listen to this one on my weekends.
Yeah, it's like a wallpaper piece, but it has a lot of nostalgia tied into it. And I do actually really enjoy the guitar intro. It's kind of like
It's not. I
super
think this is
echoey.
probably one of the best songs on the album,
I would agree with that. Yeah,
which is probably why it got so famous. Not gonna lie,
yeah.
it's just how it came out to be.
And surprisingly enough, the vocalist's absolute despondent vocals and trash tier lyricism actually works with the instrumental on this, because the instrumental sounds very despondent and lonely and edgy.
Oh.
And speaking of edgy, track 6.
This is my least favorite song on the album.
This is one of my least favorite songs of all time.
Yeah. Here I had another note about the title on this one. Track 6, She Hates Me, and I wrote and so do I.
Yeah, yeah. I actually drew like the YouTube thumbs down next to my song title for this one, just to further illustrate how much I dislike this song. It hurts me. It hurts me to listen to. The instrumental is a complete eyesore in the rest of the album. Like, they were going for this hard rock aesthetic with like one or two ballads, and this one's like, okay, we're gonna do like something sunny and pop sounding, and then we're gonna have lyrics about middle school breakups, except I'm an adult and I've been out of middle school for quite some time.
Yeah. I don't really have a lot of notes about this song because I was really just not enjoying listening to it. So I'll just read them off to you in a row, and you can tell me what you think. This song makes me hate myself. I wish this song was done. Fuck that talking in the studio ending shit.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that. It's like, oh, dude, you think we could do that again? It's like, fuck you.
Yeah, yeah. I actually have as my final note on this song even ends badly. Like, come on. If you're gonna have a rocky start and a rocky midsection and a god awful chorus and a god awful lyricism, at least like wrap it up. That song makes me sad.
Yeah, this song, like, so far listening to this album, I was like at least semi-intrigued, especially when I heard Blurry. I was like, oh man, I remember that. And then I heard She Hates Me, and I lost any form of interest I had in listening to the rest of this album. I listened to this album 3 or 4 times.
That's a mistake.
And every time I listened to 1 through 5, and I was like, not good, but not terrible. And then 6 comes on, and I'm like, I wish I was dead.
Yeah.
I wish I was dead.
That being said, I think the track that follows this is probably my favorite song on the album, which is Bring Me Down. And the reason it's my favorite song on the album is because it
Yeah.
literally just sounds like an Alice in Chains ripoff. I'm
Oh,
straight up.
no, I'm glad you bring that up because after hearing track 6, I like lost all motivation, right? So 7, 8, and 9, I have little notes for because I was just so fucking broken. And one of the few things I wrote about Bring Me Down was is there any inspiration in these songs? And I guess Alice in Chains must have been track 7's inspiration, seeing as you believe it is a direct ripoff.
Oh yeah, like I mean the vocal melody, they've got like some quote unquote harmonies worked in there, and it sounds like they're trying their best to replicate the magic that made Alice in Chains so good. And it falls flat, but I mean, it's still
Good effort.
yeah, it's a good effort. You know, if the entire album sounded like what Bring Me Down was going for, this would be like a significantly better album because at least the vocalist sounds like he gives a shit on this track and doesn't sound like he's got like I don't know 2 tissues stuffed up his nose and he's like got a bunch of cough syrup in his throat or something, you know, just like a really thick gunky thing that's causing him to only sing in a monotone. At least on this one, he actually puts in a little backbone on his vocal.
He didn't drink his warm tea and honey before the recording session.
Yeah, he's a fool. He's a fool.
And you know what? Fools, they never change. Track 8.
That's a decent transition. I'll give you that.
Thank you. I really actually kind of dug the quote unquote harmonies in this song.
Yeah.
They were a bit better than the ones earlier in the album. They still kind of do the production thing where it's just a hard note, but at least they were like actual harmonies this time.
Yeah. So again with my Alice in Chains comparison, I have another Alice in Chains comparison. Specifically, it sounds like Alice in Chains if Lane Staley, the vocalist for Alice in Chains at the time this album came out, although I think he might have been dead at this point, was totally drunk, tried to write a song for Nirvana and use lyrics from a school shooter's notebook. That's what I have for my notes on this.
You hit him in a rough place.
Yeah, and I have the pre-chorus / chorus vocal melody is decent. It's decent. But the rest of the track is so painfully unoriginal that it's almost unbelievable. Like, I don't know how you can rip off so many grunge bands at the same time, smash them into one tiny box, and somehow make something that sounds like everything you've ever listened to before. I don't know how that can happen. All the grunge bands sound different. How do you fuck up that bad?
I also noted that the unchanging power chords are so incredibly dull by now that I don't think I'll ever be able to hear anything else in my life.
No, you should try listening to some 80s hair rock. You think this shit makes you sad? Oh, you know nothing, my good man.
I'm glad. At this point, I'm glad.
You would want to hide in a basement. Speaking of which, look, I tried. Track 9 is basement. One thing I'm gonna try and be positive. I can say one good thing about this song. I liked the bass work at the beginning. That's about it.
I just want to I want to let you know the one line I have written down for basement.
You don't like the bass work?
No, I'm too afraid to listen to these songs anymore. I think I was slowly losing my mind at this point. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, past me. I really have nothing to say about the basement. It's such drivel in comparison with all the other songs that they all just form together.
I'm telling you, it's wallpaper rock. Track 10 is Said.
Well, that's what he said. Fuck.
Yeah, I beat you.
I'm cutting you out and I'm putting that in.
All right, you do what you need to do. So go on. You can start. I've started on the other ones.
I actually kind of like this song. It's out of all the songs on the album, Said and Blurry are the two that I at least semi enjoyed. There was actually some original or at least somewhat original variation in the instrumentation for this song, and like the first time ever. And the drumming technique during I think it was the chorus, or like right after the chorus, was actually kind of good. I dug it. This wasn't a terrible song. I really wish there was more songs like this on the album.
I would agree with most of your points. Actually, I did enjoy the vocal melody. I thought it was probably one of the strongest vocal melodies on the album, and the instrumental was actually pretty good too. It was it sounded different, which is the most big thing.
It was the most decent song on the album, I would think, in terms of like originality.
Yeah. My biggest issue with it is that the chorus was very weak, and most of the lyrics are very weak. But again, it's not a bad jam, I guess. I mean, it's not something I would seek out to listen, but if it's on, I'm not gonna be like, wow, this is really boring.
Yeah, right. It's one that I can listen to. I probably just won't.
Exactly.
And yeah, just to finish off this album, we have a Piss It All Away. Like, I want to piss away all my memories of this album. That was decent. That wasn't very good. That was super unoriginal, just kind of like this band.
Yeah.
The dissonant sound of the guitar and bass wasn't terrible. That's about like really all I had for the instrumentation on this one. Actually, I thought the part where he whispers in this song, of the Piss It All Away, as much as I hate that line and I hate the title of this song, that whispering part was probably the best this man has sounded in the entire album.
That's because he's quiet and you can hardly hear him.
Yeah.
So, I have that the instrumental is quite pleasant. I enjoyed most of the instrumental of this song.
They even had a string part towards the end too.
The instrumental kind of bops on this song. The main issue is the lyrics are shit. Piss It All Away is a really, really bad hook. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah.
It's a really fucking bad hook. And the vocals were just okay. Just okay. Yeah. They did a couple of things that were decent, but for the most part, not good.
Subpar, at best. Though, if we wanna hook this all together to speaking about the album art,
I suppose the cover. Yeah, I suppose it makes sense with the cover, but I'm kind of concerned that the lead vocalist or whoever the front man is just, or whoever okayed that art really is just a massive pedophile.
Yeah, so
I don't want to see a boy's ass on the cover of my album, especially when he's pissing. I don't need that in my life. I just don't need it.
If you hadn't caught on yet, the cover of the album is a young boy, pants down, turned away from the camera, ass, bare cheeks blasting in the wind, pissing. And Puddle of Mudd is written in like a standard word font.
Yep.
And it's just all around a terrible album cover.
Yeah, I give the album cover a 0 out of 10. And my conclusion for the album...
I give it a 911 out of 10, as we should probably be calling that on whoever approved that cover. Because, that means somebody had to ask a child to take off his pants and turn away from the camera and relieve himself.
Yeah, dude.
Somebody had to say that and okay that and then make it happen.
Truly an art form.
Yeah. Music is art, baby. And overall, I'm giving this album a 3 out of 10.
Wowee, me too.
It's unbelievably boring. There's absolutely no originality in this album. Nothing worth listening to except maybe blurry if you have the nostalgia for it, or said because it was kind of interesting to listen to. It's really well produced, but a good production doesn't make a good song.
Yeah.
Sorry to say it, folks. You can sound the best, you could have the highest, best fucking recording equipment this money has to offer, but if you're not good at writing lyrics, not good at writing hooks, not good at playing your instruments, it's not going to be good.
Yep. That's pretty much what I've got. Specifically, I have Durst, my man. Your production was good, but your A&R skills were really, really bad.
I really hope Durst isn't the one who approved the album art.
I also hope that. That would be a damn shame.
I love that, man.
This album is pretty much Alice in Chains if they were bad.
It's an Alice in Chains cover band who tried to turn into making original stuff and just didn't have it.
Working out, dude. It's just not working out. So anyway, onto the other album, which is the Fog album, Ether Teeth.
It was released May 12th in 2003 and is an alternative indie folktronica album if you wanted to give it a genre, but I wouldn't give this a genre.
It's something.
I would not.
I will simply say that it is something. And speaking of something, track 1 is Plum Dumb. It's an instrumental track. There's some weird record scratching, and I don't know. So
the one thing I'm gonna give the whole album credit for is this dude can write some pretty good sounding stuff in terms of his instrumentalism. Like he can play the guitar, he can play the piano. It's not bad. It's just that also seems to be the only thing he can do, and he does it a bit too much in too much of the same style, because this whole thing is just one guy who's like a DJ or whatever. I forgot the backstory behind him.
I don't think it matters too much. He doesn't seem like a very relevant gentleman to me.
No. So the one thing he does a lot is he does like audio effects, scratching, and like electronic sounds embedded into like these really nice sounding piano acoustic things.
Yeah, and it just really fucks with me.
It sounds so bad. Because I actually don't mind Plum Dumb. It's not a bad sounding
Plum
song.
Dumb isn't bad at all. It's very ambient, and I like that a lot about it.
The acoustic guitar strumming sounds nice.
Yeah.
The piano fits in nicely, but then you keep getting the random scratchy electro shit.
Yeah, and also like weird chants in like the deep background of like, it sounds like it's from like a 40s or 50s movie or something like that, and it's like the same thing, and it's really, really buried in the mix. And it's very, very distracting from the ambience and just fucking ruins it. However,
it could have just been a pretty song.
Yeah. And I do like, there's a cymbal crash at like around 3:25 in the song that is really good and kind of snaps your attention back in, which is good because Plum Dumb is a 5-minute long song. So with that much ambience and that much weird shit happening, you're going to lose focus, so that cymbal crash is a good way to get your attention,
which you'll need in this album, because if you thought Come Clean was pretty boring, just wait. A lot of these songs are some of the hardest things to ever get through. Speaking of which, What a Day, track 2.
Oh my god.
My first line is what the fuck is this? It sounds like something I'd write when I'm 12.
It's not good. That's what it is. His singing, very flat. Very flat. I do like the instrumental at around 50 seconds. The bass drum is very saturated.
That's the off kilter drum beat, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't fit with the time signature perfectly, but it doesn't like not fit.
Yeah, it doesn't detract.
No. The record breaks though.
Oh,
Fuck
those are
things.
really irritating. He cleans up his singing a little bit at around 2 minutes. But then he just kind of goes back to the weird trash, immature sounding shit that he was on the first time.
Yeah.
And the end of the song is just surrounded by god awful samples.
Oh my god, I have that written down. Terrible sampling.
Yeah, absolutely
Terrible.
awful sampling. Like, you could not have picked worse samples. Like, I don't think it would have been possible. And then it ends on a shitty sample too.
Yeah. The only main part I liked about this song was midway through, there's a piano that comes in that sounds really nice. This guy can write a good piano part.
Yes, yes.
I
would
wish
agree
he'd
with
just
that.
be I wish he'd just be a composer because he'd probably just be 10 times better at that. But nobody wants to be that anymore. Yeah. Also the actual lyricism of a "What a Day Day" fucking kills me.
Yeah, that's fucking miserable.
It is not worth listening to. Skip this song.
Yeah,
Don't ever
yeah,
listen to it.
yeah. Never listen to What a Day Day. Track 3 is titled "See It," as in like 2 question marks. The vocals on this track sound like if Radiohead's Tom York had never sung before. That's really what it sounds like to me. And I mean, the piano sounds good.
Dude, that's all this guy has going for him.
The
Is
piano
his
on this
ability to
track
play the
actually
piano.
sounds quite good. I find the piano to be very compelling. However, God, his vocals are just
Yeah.
so obtusely shitty. I don't think I can stress enough how bad this guy sings.
Yeah.
It's like
I think he was trying to go for that indie vibe where like you don't really try all that hard, but because he's not trying that hard, it's not coming off as good.
yeah.
And you can get away with the not trying hard if you still sound good though.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
He sounds very bad.
I do like the bird sampling in this song.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of piano and birds for some reason. They just click together well for me.
Are you like some kind of Disney movie wizard or something?
Yeet, my brother. But the thing I really had an issue with in this song, and it comes up later on in the album too, is the trumpet that he plays isn't terrible, but my god, is it terrible.
Yeah.
It technically is played proficiently and like the notes aren't bad. It's just how he makes it fucking sound.
Yeah, it's really kind of a nightmare.
And it comes up more than once in this album, and I wish I only ever had to hear it once, but my god, he does not let it go.
Yep.
When you hear the album, or when you hear this song, and you hear the trumpet start, you're like, oh, that's not, oh my, what is he, oh, that's not, what the fuck is he, oh, that's not, oh my god. And it's a constant back and forth of like, the note, like, melody isn't terrible, it's just how the hell is he making it sound so shitty.
Yeah, it's really kind of a shame. That's one thing that's very very much a common thread throughout this whole album. It's just chock full of missed opportunities.
And shame.
Yeah, and shame as well. Don't never forget about the shame. This is a shameful album. Shame on you.
Not to mention the real shame of this album, my least favorite track 4, Girl from the Gum Commercial.
I'd like to start off by saying that
this song.
I like the name of the song.
I love the name of this song. But then what he does with the name of this song into the actual track makes me want to kill myself.
Why would you ever put someone chewing as a sample?
ASMR chewing.
Why would you ever put chewing as a sample?
How long was this song? Like 5 minutes long?
About 5 minutes.
Something like that.
It cuts out.
I think about 3 minutes of it has chewing in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I'll come to your house and I'll kill you if you ever make me listen to this again.
I fucking hated the chewing samples like more than anything else on this album. It was probably my least favorite part. Which the reason it upsets me so much is because I like the vocal delivery on this song.
Yes, I
It's
actually do
probably
too.
his best vocal delivery on the entire album. I think the lyrics are good. Most of the instrumental is like super low key sad and shit until about 2 minutes, and then he just starts popping off.
Oh yeah, the hard that breakdown. I
Yeah,
fucking love
it
that.
is a
Like
bit of a
this
breakdown,
song.
and he sings like a little more up in the mic, and puts a little more effort into it, talking about the girl from the gum commercial, and then like halfway through the delivery, the chewing sample comes back in, and I just want to die. I just
This
want to die. I could have cut
this
out the original like 2.5 minute intro with the chewing gum sample in it. Could have cut that out, and I could have just listened to this song how it was, and it would have been fine. And then the chewing samples come back. I get upset. It
I think this probably could have been the best song on the album.
Yes, it could have
without
been a
the
straight
sample.
up excellent song, which is actually a point that I make in my conclusion. The girl from the gum commercial has potential to be amazing, but it goes too long, and
Yeah, my note is I wish I could like this song. I really do, but the chewing actually ruins everything about it. Cuz whenever I think about this song, the only thing I think about isn't how good the vocals were, it's the chewing sample that I'm
Yes.
going to have to listen to
yes,
for 3 minutes.
I have no interest in listening to an obnoxious chewing sound in an otherwise good song. The only other issue I even take with this is that there's a wobbly drone thing in the
Yep, the
outro
random electric part.
that just kind of gave me a headache. I hated
Yeah,
that shit.
he sure enjoys his random electric sounds that don't need to be there.
Fucking obnoxious.
But you know what, Justin? You need to cheer up cheerily.
You shut the fuck up. This song is just okay.
Yeah.
I'd say it's one of the most mediocre tracks on the album. I actually do like the samples, but I hate how they're chopped.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been better just to have a nice little instrumental and then have the sample play over the top unaltered. But what do I know?
Yeah, the droning ambience in the song like isn't bad, and the woodwind opening is actually kind of endearing. I really like that part, but it just drags on, gets kind of boring, really uninteresting. Nothing really happens.
Yeah,
Just as there. It's not a terrible song, not a bad song, not a good song, just a song.
yeah.
Definitely a good break from Girl from the Gum commercial, because if he gave me another hard sample with like something that just actually makes me want to rip my headphones in half, just break them right in half, I don't think I would have gotten past track 5.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Track 6 is titled Under a Anvil Tree.
I hate that.
My first note is grammar error in the track title, already bad. But that's okay because I actually like this song a little bit. I don't think it's awful. It starts with like a little acoustic guitar thing and like a sample from a phone call. Some of the lyrics are decent, but it kind of quashes that again with some really just obnoxious sampling as he is wont to do.
Yeah. I actually think I hate this song a lot more than you do. I think
probably.
I think the intro is completely worthless and stupid. There's constant talking in the background.
Yeah, I also agree that the intro is worthless and stupid, but I like most of the rest of the song.
Yeah,
with the exception of
lyrics,
the shitty samples. God.
Yeah, I think his vocals and lyricism are still pretty lame, and they're even hard to listen to. Especially when he does that electronic wibble sound.
Yeah, that's the
again.
obnoxious sample I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that thing.
Yeah.
It completely distracts from the lyricism and vocals, which are not the worst they've been on this album.
Yeah. Around 3 minutes though, there's a little drumstick part that comes in that I actually I really liked. I love drumsticks.
Yeah,
like drumstick tapping.
That was pretty cool.
So
and then
all in all,
he kind of samples himself at like 3:30 in the song.
Yeah.
Like just samples himself. It's not awful, but it's really not good enough to justify being there either. So, another missed opportunity on this one, I would say.
Yeah. That's a lot of what this album is.
Yeah. It's really just making me feel unwelcome, to be honest. Much
Making
like
me
a
feel like
sign.
trash.
It's making me feel unwelcome, much like a sign that says "No boys allowed," which is track 7.
Oh, got him.
Yeah.
The opening dissonance in this song is utter garbage. It's just he tries. That's all I can give it to him is that he tries. That can't say it works though.
See, it's funny that you say that because
You liked it?
This is probably my favorite track on the album. Which
Really?
I don't know if that says something about the album or says something about me as a person, but so the opening thing is like bells and like record scratches and like drum samples that I don't think are perfect, but I think they work with the aesthetic of the track. And then there's like a telegraph sample and there's like a kazoo drone. He's like using a kazoo as a drone, and I'm like, that's okay. I like kazoo. Kazoo is kind of litty. I like seeing that in a track. And I didn't treat the vocals as if they were like providing lyrics or anything. I just kind of treated them as if they were another layer on top of the cacophony of sound that was building up. And then the trumpet, well, again, not great, actually kind of works with the rest of the tone of the song, and it just kind of turns into a drone. It's like he's using vocals and kazoo and all these weird samples to turn it into like a drone piece at the end, which honestly would have been okay. It's just an okay track though, which is sad.
I can agree with the vocal part. I said the vocals really aren't that terrible until like his quote unquote singing comes in again. Other than that, I thought most of the song was just kind of repetitive and boring, and that stupid trumpet came back, and I really hate that trumpet. I even have a note saying, "How long is this stupid fucking trumpet going to go on for?"
Forever.
Kinda, yeah. But I guess, Justin, none of that matters because track 8 comes in.
Yeah, and I must apologize to you for that last positive review on that track, because just like you might want to apologize to Mystery like this man does.
Yeah,
that was really shoehorned it. I'm sorry.
That one. Is a demon doll being possessed by an 8-year-old trying to communicate with me through a 70s radio?
I don't know, but
this is my note.
I hate the samples on this track. I hate them. They're obnoxious. They don't do anything, and it covers up the really sad boy piano.
Yeah.
Fuck this track.
Oh my gosh. So I have that first note of the demon doll being possessed by an 8-year-old trying to communicate with me through a 70s radio, and then my next note is and then their brother decided to show up and try to give me the messages and try to give me messages to decipher. There's absolutely nothing to this song that hasn't been heard before.
Yeah, pretty much
in the album.
It's
I hated the sampling.
Yeah,
completely
fuck
worthless.
These samples, dude. Fuck. Fuck most of the samples on this album. There's been like 1 or 2 good ones.
Yeah.
And most of them have been samples of instruments or samples of noises and not samples of people talking. Stop sampling people talking. Stop that shit.
It's not interesting. Nobody cares.
It's not interesting. It's obnoxious. Most of the time it's bad.
I call this song Old Time Dudes, but time is spelled Tyme.
I actually like the title of this track as well.
Yeah, I don't know why they spelled it Tyme, because it's not even like thyme, the fucking...
I think it's just to be a little herb. Quirky.
The sampling is kind of cool in this song. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I think you're wrong. I think the sampling is fucking atrocious.
It's not. I think it's not as bad as it has been.
Do you know what? You know what I have for notes on this album? I've got 4 lines. Samples are atrocious, and the word daddy appears in the lyrics. Instrumental is competent. Overall, very boring. That's it. That's all I've got.
I liked the bells, but I hate that fucking record electro sound for like the 80 billionth time that we've heard it. And the song goes on too long with not enough happening.
Yeah.
And,
daddy, I mention that daddy appears in the lyrics? Did I mention that?
Yes. Yes, you did. Want to say it one more time, though, for the people in the back?
Daddy appears in the lyrics. Fucking no. Stop that shit right now. It's not
This was 2003, Justin. It was a different time.
Are you serious, dude? No, that shit's been around forever.
You know what I wish doesn't go on forever, though, Justin?
Wallpaper Sink or Swim? Well, too bad, because this fucker's 11 minutes long and makes me want to die. So
that clipped my audio.
I like the little country twang guitar intro. It's not bad, but if I have to hear another fucking obnoxious sample again in my life, I think I'm just gonna gouge my eyes out with this with a spoon or something. I cannot stand. I cannot stand almost all of this track. The instrumental at 3:30 isn't too bad. But then there's a vocal loop of him saying something like "goat will eat tin cans."
Goats will eat tin. Yeah.
And I'm just like, look, I get that goats have stomachs of iron, but why are you repeating that goats will eat tin can? Like, first of all, I don't think their teeth can do that. Second of all, no, they probably wouldn't unless there was sustenance within those tin cans. And third of all, how do you know this? Are you a goat scientist? Maybe that should have been your job. Maybe you should have stuck being a goat scientist, because fuck you.
I'd rather have this guy watching goats than making music. I waited 6 minutes for something to happen, and it wasn't worth the wait in the middle of this song. Because
nothing happens.
Nothing happens in the song. It was 11 minutes of my life wasted.
So in my notes, I have this is what long songs shouldn't sound like, and then wish I could just put a picture of this on screen, because it's just it takes up like 12 lines or so. It's just the word fuck.
Yeah. Remember you showing me that?
That's how this song makes me feel. Fuck this wallpaper sink or swim shit. There is no sinking here. There is no swimming here. There's not even wallpaper here, because there's more happening to this track than wallpaper. But all of it sucks. All of it sucks. All of it's shit. I hate this song. Fuck this song. Fuck fog. I'm done.
Okay. I'll add in my little 2 cents here. Is if you were to play this song in an older home, let's say early 1900s built, maintained fairly well throughout the years up till now, you play the song in the middle of that living room, it will make the wallpaper peel. Yeah, that's about the extent this has to do with wallpaper. That wallpaper will peel and it will corrode, and you will be sad because you're gonna have to spend the money to get that fixed, refurbished.
He's right, you know. I did it in my house.
I have a reputation for hating. I have a reputation for hating really long songs, just because if you're gonna make a long song, you better keep me interested.
Yeah.
Every second of the way. I mean, there's no way I'm gonna sit through a 15-minute long song if you're having 4 minutes dedicated to one, like, 4-bar progression.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm sitting there. And this is an exact example of what not to do in a song. Ever, for any kind of song, long or short, at all, just don't ever make a song like this. If you're going to school for making music, listen to this song so you know what the exact worst outcome could be. For a song.
Yeah, that's honestly kind of very similar to how I feel about this song. I notoriously also love long songs, as long as it's doing something and isn't just repeating the same bullshit. But you want to know what this song does?
Does it just repeat the same bullshit?
We have a winner. So anyway, on to Cardinal Heart, which is track 11. This song's boring. It's boring
Yeah.
song with boring samples. Although I like the music box.
Yep.
The music box is nice, but that's just because it's a pleasant little instrument.
And as with a very common thing we tend to see at the last song of albums is a sudden ending that completely doesn't feel, it feels like a cop out for the ending of your album, and the song hits you with a sudden ending that was just stupid.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like the ending to an album, didn't feel like the ending to any form of story this guy was trying to tell. It just felt like a waste of my time.
Yeah, I would say that this album left me with an unsatisfied wiener, but I never even chubbed. So,
Yeah, it's hard to be disappointed when nothing even goes up, you know what I'm saying?
yep.
What do you give this overall, Justin? The whole. Well, actually, before we do that, I'll just give a run over the album art.
The album art
It
was the best
is
part about this album.
it is a pure like red background with like a faint emboss of a cardinal.
Yes, which is very nice. I think it's aesthetically pleasing. It's minimalist, and it's probably the best part about this album. If only this album had been minimalist and cut away all those fucking shitty samples. Conclusion: 2 out of 10. Album art 9 out of 10. Okay.
Wait, hold on. I own this album in person. I went and I grabbed my physical copy of it. I'm gonna give you a little rundown of how it feels. It is a cardboard opening case. Smooth-ish. Got a little rough. The emboss looks nice. The actual writing of Fog, Ether Teeth, and the song names on the back looked like trash.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter because the cardinal's cute.
Yeah, the cardinal's pretty cool.
And that is my review of the physical copy of this album.
So
overall, Justin, what do you give it?
I give it a 2 out of 10. Fuck this album. My favorite parts about this album are the cardinal embossed on the front and the name Ether Teeth, which is absolutely wasted on this shit. Ether Teeth is a fucking badass name, and you waste that shit on this much incompetence jammed into like one 50-minute session. I don't even know if it's that long. It's probably longer because that one song just goes on forever. The whole thing
There is an 11-minute long song on this album.
The whole thing is bloated as fuck. Much of the production is super creative, but if you're super creative and the end result is shit, it's shit. Okay? Like, you can look at something like Captain Beefheart's Trout Mask Replica, which is a fucking nightmare to listen to, but it's put together so precisely and so intricate that it sounds like it's competent. It actually doesn't sound like it's competent. Don't take my word for that. That album is madness.
I personally I give this album a 2.5 out of 10, and those exact 2.5 points come directly from the piano. There's nothing else I really like in this entire album besides some of this guy's guitar playing and the piano, which honestly sounds incredible at times, but is ruined by everything else. There's no substance, it's boring, it's repetitive, there's absolutely nothing going on, and the random electronic noises, scratches, record breaks, sampling were only a nuisance to listen to. 2.5 out of 10. I don't even recommend thinking about this album.
Yeah. I'm just going to read you the last line of my conclusion on this.
Yes, please do.
The samples make me want to go commit die.
Ooh. That's straight from the heart, ain't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Justin, luckily, coming up this next week, you won't have to listen to a trash album. I hope, because I actually haven't heard the album I'm about to recommend you. I know of the band, I've heard some of their music, but I have not listened to this album specifically, so we're going to listen to it together.
That sounds like a good plan to me, my guy.
It is the album Twin Galaxies by Delta Sleep.
Okay.
It is I don't really know. I know the band as kind of that we were just listening to it the other day. Kind of math rocky.
Yeah, it's kind of math
uh,
rocky and sounds pretty spacey and shit. I like.
yeah. But this,
I mean, I like the song that you showed me. So hopefully,
yeah,
hopefully the rest of this album is good.
this album is from 2016, so it's kind of recent. The songs we listened to are highly recent from 2018. So
Okay.
there's been 2 years of difference between the songs we heard and the songs we're about to hear in this album. Twin Galaxies, Delta Sleep. We'll be listening to that one next week as my recommendation. What is yours, my good friend?
All right. Well, my recommendation is an album that I particularly enjoy. I'm not sure if you're going to like it because it's a little heavier. It's a little heavier, you know.
I don't mind. I don't mind some hard peanut.
Okay,
rock.
so well, imagine, right? Imagine you've got some really jamming metal music, like some really jamming death metal.
Yep.
And then you took away all of the guitars, and instead of guitars, you had saxophone. So the album that I am recommending is Brain Tentacles, self-titled album. It's something special, let me tell you that. It's a really special album. It's wild, it's goofy, and I fucking love it.
That's I'm hoping to have a good time listening to this one. Do want to remind you that the first album you made me that you recommended was a noise album. So you've already hit me with like some of the hardest that we can get up until, specifically like screamo hard stuff. So I'm hoping to have a good time with this one.
Oh, it should be entertaining. Most of the tracks
I'm
have
hoping
vocals, but
I'm hoping you just have a good time with my album. Just like an actual good time, like sit back, relax,
beat my meat a little bit.
Maybe. I'm hoping with yours. I mean, it does have the word tentacles in the title, which already gets me going. So we can only hope for the best.
Certainly. All right. So thank you for joining us on this odyssey of depression and
sadness, pain. Any other words you want to throw in there?
Misery.
Abstinence.
Avocado. Avocado is a good word. I like that
that's
one.
That's a good one. In fluctuation.
Why my pee
Twitter.
hard?
Twitter. If you want to follow me, it's at the real Hisuya. If you want to follow Justin, it's
Crescent Moon Kami, I think. I'm gonna check
probably.
Real quick.
Doesn't even remember his own Twitter handle.
Look, man, I don't use it too often. I'm on there though. It's at Crescent Kami. At Crescent Kami. That's what it is.
That is incredible, Justin. I'm so glad you might be active on there one day.
Hey, I'm somewhat active, and I should specify that Kami is spelled Kami, as in like the monster / spirit boy
/ king. Not king. I meant God.
Yeah. It's just some zesty lads,
Yeet. My meat, my dude. And I think that's about it.
That about wraps it up.
Thank you for listening this week. Check in next week with our 2 recommended albums. And I hope you have a good time. I love you. Do you love me back?
Sure.
Send me an email if you want to get with this hot single.
On that note, I am deleting my email. I'm sending it right now.
Thank you so much.